The time is 9:18 p.m. It is Sunday, the 8th of February, and I haven't recorded anything on this channel in, I believe it is 11 months, which is just insane to me. Like 11 months is such a long time, and I haven't posted anything on here. But I have decided to make a video today, just walking through some of the things that are on my mind and some of the things that I learned in January and how this year has gone so far. I don't have any structure in my mind. I only have like two bullet points, literally. So I don't have any structure in my mind. I don't have anything. And the intention behind this channel is that nobody, first of all, really sees them, and I could just rant and talk about things on my mind. I tried filming this video earlier, but I wanted to post it on my main channel, and I was overthinking it, and I didn't like the way the video turned out. So I figured I'd just re-record the video, but then post it on here. So let's talk about a couple of things. How did January go? What were the expectations for January? What actually worked? What didn't work? How did it go? How am I thinking about things right now? And what am I trying to optimize for as at right now? So I'm recording this just to document this for future purposes. This is a total side note. I'm going to be taking a lot of tangents and a lot of side notes in this video. And I think it's fine because this is the Unfiltered channel, I guess. Okay. So a couple of things, right? I came into this year with three primary goals. I feel like this is not properly focused on me, but anyways, I'm just going to ignore it. I came into this year with three primary goals. Three goals. The first goal was around my work, which is the program that I run to help train people and place them in remote jobs. I feel like I've spoken about this so many times, right? And the first goal, that goal, is to place 120 people directly in jobs. That's the thing that I'm trying to gun for this year with the team. The second goal is around my aesthetic physique, which is like the title that I give it. I want to have an aesthetic physique. Basically, I want to get in shape and like get fit essentially. And then the third goal that I had is around content. Initially, I said 100k subs on YouTube, and then eventually I changed it to 200 because I felt like 100 wasn't like stimulating me enough. And we'll get to all of these things in detail. I just want to talk about how everything is going to really just rant here. So yeah, those are the three goals that I set coming into 2026. And the mindset that I was coming into 2026 with was that of I felt like I wasn't doing enough, and I felt like fundamentally I didn't have enough results for the amount of experience that I've had and the amount of things that I've done in the past. I just felt like I don't have the results to show for it, which is why I set those goals. I was like going for something physical, something like that is obvious, especially the 200k subs one. It's like, oh, I want this physical thing that I could see as evidence of the work and the efforts that I've put in over the past couple of years. And we'll probably get to that and like how that has played out and what that is turning into and all of that. Anyways, those were the three things that I went into the year with. And let's talk about January. How did January go? First week of January was chill. Like first week of January, I was in the groove. I had the routine. I had everything pretty set. And then I was able to do a video. I think I finished scripting my first video, which was the video on purpose. Then I uploaded that video. And then work was also going well. I was just ramping up again, just resuming for the year, trying to get things up to speed again, right? Then that weekend, I had a call with Adefe. And she mentioned that I should get on short form contents, like make short form videos. I was like, screw it, you know what? If she's saying it, then I had another friend, Sona, as well, who was like, get on short form content. I'm like, you know what, screw it, let's just do it, right? So I started posting on short form as well, and the results from that was insane. Like I posted that week, I didn't have any strategy in mind. What I was doing essentially was like I would script that night, I'll record the video, then upload it the next day, send it to my editor, then he'll edit it, send it back to me, upload it, and then just keep that cycle going. On IG, I went from like 600 followers thereabouts to like 2,400, and on TikTok I went from like 90 to over 1,000. So it was like shit, like I don't even have a plan here. I was not being strategic about anything, and I was just posting stuff and it was working. I'm like, okay, this is interesting. But the downside, or the thing that happened that second week, is that I also, like, my work suffered. Like the thing with where I'm at with work and what I'm trying to do with work, which is helping people get remote jobs, is for us to go to from where we are right now, which is like 0 to 1. We've done the 0 to 1 where we found what works. For me to get to from 1 to 5, 10, 15, 20, 100, right? I need to scale. that. And obviously, for me to scale it, it requires a lot of time, attention to build systems that make things scale. Things don't scale without systems, right? And I need systems to make things scale. And it requires a lot of time and attention and energy for me to figure out what all of that looks like, especially on the client acquisition front, which is how do we get more clients? How do we get more people that are going to hire these people that we're training? And then how do we place more people in jobs? How is that going to work if I don't sit down and figure it out? So that was the major bottleneck. Anyways, I'll get to that later. The second week of January, content was doing really well, but my work suffered. Like I was just obsessing over content. I was like, let's fix this. I was learning a lot. Prior to posting those videos, I didn't have Instagram or TikTok. So I had to watch a lot of videos, try to understand the platforms, how it works, all of that kind of stuff. So I was just nerding out over this shit. I'm like, I want to do this. I was excited about it. And then towards the end of that week, I was like, yeah, this is not sustainable. Just filming every single night and trying to upload the next day. I was stressed. I was sleeping super late. Like it was my routine. Everything was just off, right? But I did get the benefit of actually putting things out there and seeing the results of it. And it was obvious that there was some form of demand for the type of content that I was making, and it was working because people were really like, till today, when I open up my IG or TikTok or whatever it is, I still see new followers. I'm like, I haven't posted in like 2 weeks plus, I think 2 weeks thereabout. And like people are still, liking this and like following and all that. So there was definitely some form of like fit there, right? But like I said, it wasn't sustainable. So the plan was like, okay, I'm going to build a backlog of videos. But then going into the next week, I was so behind on work that I had to get up to speed with work. So like getting back up to speed with work, I have four people that I'm managing now. 3 of them are new. Before it was just one person. So I'm managing 4 people now, leading a team of 4 people, trying to grow things. It was like, shit, I cannot, like, trying to balance everything was just tough. So that week I focused squarely on content, on work rather. I had to get back up to speed with work. I got into the groove of everything again, remembered what I was doing, and starting to fall in love with a lot of it, especially like working with the new interns, trying to get them up to speed, showing them how things work and all of that. I think another thing that also spurred that is I had a conversation with a client, a past client. He's the VP of growth at an e-com agency in the US. And I was just speaking to him about expanding to other niches, right? Because right now we've majorly been targeting AI automation agencies as our primary client base. And I'm like, if we want to target other personas like e-com agencies, for example, because he's an e-com agency and I've worked with him already, we've placed somebody with him. Is it possible for us to expand into that? He gave me a game plan on how to go about that. I'm like, shit, okay, this is exciting. Like expanding the client base, learning how to like grow that and grow client acquisition. But that in itself is like a full-time thing as well, right? You can't build those systems and scale all of that. And this brings me to another conversation that I had on Thursday. Was it Thursday? Yeah, it was on Thursday with Yeli Badimosi, the founder of Onboard. So I was speaking to him, and this was one of the things that we were talking about. It's difficult to manage multiple things when you've not figured out a process for that thing already, right? If you have figured out a process for something and something is just like it has systems in place, like you're just scaling that thing, then you can add something else on top. But when you haven't figured something out and you're adding another thing on it, it's just going to be a recipe for disaster. So this next step that I'm trying to figure out is really the client acquisition, and I would get to that in a bit, but I've been trying to figure it out and learn, and I'm like, okay, my knowledge is limited. And even for this next cohort that we're running, we're planning to place 45 people in jobs. For me to be able to do this cohort, like my current knowledge is not sufficient for me to be able to complete it and complete it well. And obviously, I want to complete it and complete it well, right? So like I said, the second week I focused on, is this second week? This is third week rather. I focused on work a lot. And then I just couldn't do the content thing. Like I just didn't do it. Like I didn't have the time to do it, right? Because I was just buried in this. So I had a conversation with my accountability coach, Mary, that week. So one of the best decisions I've made this year so far is hiring an accountability coach. Hands down, it's the best thing. I literally still met with her today. She's kind of like an accountability coach / a life coach. She's a life coach primarily, but she also does accountability coaching. And it's the best thing, having somebody who's also interested in the goals that you've set and is like willing to think through everything with you and help you to identify the blockers and things that you're doing well and call out your bullshit when you're actually bullshitting, right? So yeah. I did that. I had the conversation with her. I'm like, yeah, see, like doing these 2 things is tough. Like I don't know how I'm going to manage these 2 things. Like I can't do it. So I had to figure out what the next step was going to be, which would be either to pick one thing. But the issue with picking one thing is that if I was going to pick one thing, obviously I would have to decide that like I leave my job and like focus on this content thing and do it really well, or I leave this content thing and grow this program and all of that. So I was trying to figure out, okay, what is the logical decision to make here, right? Because if you think about content as a path in itself, right, the reason why trying to manage the 2 of them and do 2 of them in the capacity that I was trying to do it was not very feasible, at least to the best of my knowledge, is because of 2 things. One of them is like content requires you to share knowledge, right? Obviously. And if you're sharing knowledge, it's either you're sharing knowledge from research and you're reading a lot and learning stuff and synthesizing that information that you're learning, or you're sharing knowledge from lived experience, from past experience that you have encountered in the past. So for example, if you have built a business and you're talking, this is how you build a business, how you go about it, from past lived experience, right? Or you're reading a lot about, this is like a David Senra, founders podcast guy, what he does, he reads a bunch of biographies and he's coming and then he's talking 10 minutes. He's talking about, I don't care how long his video is. I want to rant. This video is going to be long. Anyways, like he's talking about his things that he has learned from these people, right? And I was kind of like in this spot where I couldn't do the things that I've learned part because I didn't even have enough time to settle down and learn and read. Like the path before was, okay, you spend a lot of time reading, spend a lot of time learning, and then you're synthesizing that information. But I didn't have the time to even do this now and learning. Talk less about the making of the videos, about what I've synthesized, right? And then the other part, which is the lived experience, is like there's no lived experience, is like there's no lived experience. So yeah, that was why the content thing was tough at the time. So I figured the best thing was to do at that point was like, okay, focus on something that will give you the lived experiences, like this program that we're building, which is essentially kind of like a business, right? We have clients, I'm doing client acquisition, recruiting, leading a team, growing everything, operation systems, all of that stuff, which are different aspects or different components of a business. It's like focus on that and do that and do it really well. And then, eventually grow this to X amount, like where we've invoiced this many people, we've placed this many people in jobs. I can say with confidence, I've placed over 200 people in jobs directly through running this program. I built the program, figured out client acquisition, all of that, led the team, all of that. And then I have the criteria, the credibility, and the experience as well to be able to create content and talk about stuff, But there's also one middle path, which is, or let me circle back, right? That was what I decided. Basically, I decided that I was going to do the business building part. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pause content for now. Like this short form thing that I'm doing, like I'm just going to pause for now and then just focus on business. So that's what this was going into the fourth week. I think that was why I decided going into the fourth week, which with my accountability coach, like, let me just dive into this business thing. And looking at the business thing, looking at the program, building out the program, the biggest bottleneck that I have there is around client acquisition. In terms of recruiting, we have no bottleneck there. Like recruiting can be scaled as much as we want it to. We have a lot of demand. For this cohort, I have almost, speaking of, I'm supposed to close applications for the cohorts this night. But anyways, we have about 1,977 applications, right? Which is like almost 2,000 applications. And I'm sure we could have scaled that more if we wanted more people, right? So recruiting is not really the bottleneck there. Systems building is something that we could figure out. It's more of client acquisition. That is my current knowledge gap. If I'm going to grow this thing, I need to learn how to get clients better, which is our primary method of client acquisition that has worked well for us, is around outbound, right? Sending cold emails. But my skill set in that is not good enough to get me to the next level. It was barely enough to get me through the last cohort, right? Whereas if I'm going to get to the next level, I need to acquire a lot more skills. I need to understand infrastructure of sending emails. I need to understand copywriting better, which I think I, understand a little bit. I need to understand tooling better, how to build better lists, higher quality lists, experiment with a bunch of things, build different campaigns, all of that. It's like, oh shit, for me to actually build this knowledge here, I feel that knowledge gap for me to grow this business, like it's a full-time thing. I need to focus and actually get good at that thing, right? So yeah, that was the next thing. That was what I decided going into the fourth week, which is the final week of January. And yeah, I did that. I did exactly that. I got a course around it. It was initially very vague, right? I got a course around it. I booked a one-on-one call with somebody I found on LinkedIn who was very good. I paid $100 for it, which was an expensive call, but it was very, very, very much worth it because he opened my eyes to the things that I didn't know and I was able to plan out, which is another thing coming into this month that I've done. I've paid for 2 one-on-one sessions. One with Adife, that one was like $100, not $100, $100K for, I think, was supposed to be, was it 30 minutes? Yeah, 100K for 30 minutes. We ended up going past 30 minutes and it was a very valuable call. It was the reason I did short form content and had that experience in the first place. And if I was to continue pursuing that line of content, then it would definitely have been a huge ROI for me. I mean, the call in itself was already a huge ROI based off of the results and the learnings that I already had after that call. And then I did the second one-on-one, which is in this like outbound, go-to-market thing. With this other guy that I paid $100 for like an hour, and we just spoke and he broke down everything and it was perfect. I haven't even reached out to him after that. I should probably reach out to him just to say thanks for the call and like things I've done after that call. But anyways, I also got a course on it. I've almost finished one of the courses that I should finish. I have another one that I should finish too next week. So yeah, that is the next bottleneck that I need to fix. That is the next knowledge gap that I need to bridge if I'm going to get to the points that I need to get to with building out the business. So Fourth week, that was what I focused on. It was initially very vague and it was overwhelming and it was a lot because I was trying to figure out, but then I had the one-on-one call and all of that. I was able to figure it out, so that was great. I figured that out, and then I was ending the week, and there's there was a part of me towards ending the week. There was a part of me that was still like on the content side, just calling back like content, like content, because I think that, which is something that my accountability coach, my coach. I'm just going to call her my coach because like that's kind of what she is, right? Mary helps me with, which is I'll put her link in the description here. Unfortunately, this is a smaller channel, so I don't know if anybody will actually see it, but this was what she made me realize is that like sharing stuff, because I've told her different things at different points, so she kind of like aggregates all of that knowledge and is able to see through the things that I'm saying to find the truth. So she did mention to me that sharing is a part of who I am. It is a part, like it just is a part of who I am. And when I'm not doing it, my mind is always going back to it, which was what was happening to me that fourth week. I did make a lot of progress at work, but was something that was just at the back of my mind, like content. I want to share stuff. I want to make videos, right? So that was what I decided to do. Sorry, I've not made a decision yet, right? That was what was on my mind, content. So work was going well, and I had a beautiful idea, which was to just make content about the things that I'm doing for work. I'm like, okay, make content about things I'm doing for work. If you've listened to my video on the main channel about why you're always busy but have nothing to show for it, this is one of the strategies that I talked about there. So it's like, okay, how about I make videos just documenting the process of building out this program and building this thing out properly. And initially, I had this framing in my mind, which was going to be life of a 21-year-old building a global business from Nigeria. Because at this point, I've spoken to over 50 global founders. We've placed over 30 people in remote jobs. Like, I've learned a lot. There's so much I've learned, and there's so much interesting things that actually happening on a day-to-day here, where I'm speaking to clients, things are working, things are not working. And I was like, you know what? Let me just share that. Let me pivot the channel to just share that. And that's the only middle ground I can find, where I'm just sharing the stuff that I'm already doing. So it's not as much of like I have to balance these two things, and I'm able to still make progress with it. So that was the decision going into after the fourth week. So that was the end of January, and today is 8th of February. So we're 1 week into I showed you slides on look. Shit. I don't know what I'm trying to show you because I'm just going to give up. Anyways, so yeah, that was the decision going into it. We're 1 week into into February, and what I did this first week of February was I picked up my camera again, and I recorded the first 3-4 days. I think it was the first 4 days from Monday to Thursday. I recorded from Monday to Thursday, what was going on in my life and everything. And like I said, the framing was life of a global founder, of a 21-year-old building a global business from Nigeria. So something catchy, right? And then I spoke to my boss about it, and he wasn't very, on board with the whole idea of framing it as a business, because it is impact focused. The purpose is to place people in jobs, right? Which kind of like was a bummer to me, and it really did like affect me a bit. I spoke to Yeli, like I said, about it as well, just trying to find an angle and see what a path forward could be. And yeah, I think that after that call, I just lost my morale for it. I dropped the camera. I didn't pick up the camera again up until today. And I just didn't think about it. So I was like, screw this, man. Like, why can't I do that? And I should be able to figure this out and blah blah. So yeah, my mind was very fixated on that angle, and now what I'm trying to see is if there is a way for me to find another angle that will work. Because it's like, I could, in theory, just like change the angle to something that is not catchy and just make the title doesn't have to be good and it's not attractive to anybody, and I just make the videos and upload them like that, and nobody really watches them, but I would record them for myself. But I feel like if I'm putting that much effort into it, I'll probably have to send the videos to my editor as well. I'm going to be paying for each video as well. I pay like at least 100k per video, just on the edits. So it's like if I'm going to put in that much effort and time and resources into it, I might as well make it in an angle that people would watch it, right? It's different from posting on this channel. If I just had to do this, which is another part I was thinking about, maybe just posting on this second channel solely, like just solely the second channel. I'm just posting here every week. I just come and I rant like this, That's one path. The second path is just making videos about what I'm doing for work, vlogs about what I'm doing for work, like intellectual vlogs, business related vlogs, right? So yeah, that was what I was thinking about. So yeah, that's how this past week went. I recorded the video, the vlog. I didn't finish the vlog though. I haven't finished the vlog, but I recorded most of it. And I was like, you know what? I don't know. I'm not sure I can figure out the angle. So that's where I am as of right now. It's Sunday, like I've said, and I am currently trying to see if there's another angle that I could use. Trying to say, behind the scenes of building a program to place people in jobs is not attractive to anybody. Like nobody's going to want to watch that. Maybe I shouldn't worry about that, but I'll be deceiving myself if I said I wouldn't worry about that. If I post a video and it bombs, I'll be so sad because like I don't want it to bomb. And if I'm putting in the effort, it might as well be okay and like do well, and be something that people would see and watch and actually like, right? So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, trying to figure that out. So I just have two bullet points here. One is like what is working as of right now. The other is like what is not working as of right now. What is working right now is the program. I can see a path forward. I'm actively learning outbound. I've learned a lot about infrastructure and copywriting. I actually did an overhaul of the copy that we had before. I redid the copy and then my reply rates went through the roof and it was working really well. So learning that is working really well. Scaling the program is working really well. This next week I have screening calls. We're growing that like the path there is clear and things are moving forward and I've locked in on this. I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to focus on this year, growing this program out, this business out, and making sure that we're able to scale and place a lot more people in jobs. I feel like 120 is very achievable and we could even do a lot more than 120 people in jobs this year, which feels great. And in terms of what is not working, the content thing, man, like, I'm not going to do short form again, I don't think. If at all I'm going to do this, is either I just do this videos where I'm just sitting down and ranting on the second channel. I'm just building up my database of like my experience and things I'm learning and documenting on here. And it'll be like Imangaji's, at least that's how I think about it. His previous videos where he had a bunch of them on his channel. Either that or I find another angle the for the business thing where it doesn't actually use the word business and I'm able to find a workaround with it. So yeah, that's how things are going. That's how I'm thinking about things. It is currently, I think it's about 5, 6 weeks into the year as of right now, and things are all right. What would I like to change moving forward? How would I like to think about things moving forward? I don't know. I always feel like I could be doing more, which is just a constant feeling. I don't know if it's good or bad. At this point, I'm just like, I'm just going to take things at my pace and keep moving forward. As long as I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do and the things that I know I should be doing, which growing this program is what I'm doing. Gym stuff has been good as well. I've been consistent since November. I did injure my shoulder last week. So that is something I need to get rectified. So I won't be able to go to the gym this week. Probably just replace it with cardio or something. So I won't be lifting this week. But yeah, need to see a doctor and fix that up. But gym stuff is going all right. I think another thing I need to fix is around my diet. I was doing meal prep before and getting help with that, but stuff when like to cook and like do the whole meal prep and all of that. And when I don't do that at the beginning of the week, I'm probably going to order food or do something stupid during the week. So that's another thing I need to fix. But work is going all right. Content is another thing I need to figure out. But yeah, that's where I'm at right now. Those are the things that are on my mind. The angle for this content thing, that's the primary thing that's on my mind. I don't feel good about it. I need to fix it. So yeah, that's it. That's all that's on my mind as at the moment and what I need to change. But how am I feeling about everything? I don't know. I'm feeling excited about the outbound thing, like learning code outreach and getting really good at it. Because it's kind of like unlocking unlimited, like, I say unlimited, not money, but like unlimited opportunities, right? Where you're able to unlock unlimited book meetings with people and scale that. I mean, we've been seeing okay results so far. And I think the offer that we have for the program is really good from the business perspective, is really good. So I think we could definitely scale that up. So yeah, that's how I feel about everything. That's how everything is going so far. Content, I don't know how I feel about it, to be honest. I'm kind of just there because I did record those videos. I'm thinking of just uploading those videos like that, even though in the videos I did mention business a couple of times and just changing the title from something that's not business, but also trying to figure out what that title is going to be and what the packaging for the videos will be like is something I really do not know. And I don't know if I should, I don't know. I really don't know. That's the summary. I have no clue what I'm doing, but keep taking it one step at a time, I guess, and see how things play out. So yeah, I'm going to stop ranting now. That is it for this video. 21 minutes, 24 minutes. Jesus Christ. I think it was pretty alright. If you watched till this time in the video, let me actually know what you think, because I'm curious why you would watch. I mean, I guess there's some things that might be relevant, but it is a lot of time to spend watching the video, and I hope it was entertaining at least, right, to listen to me share my problems and how I'm thinking about all of them. If you have reached this point in the video, please comment phone case. Just comment phone case so I know that you reached this end of the video. And yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you so much for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.